2. Hello, everybody. I guess I forgot what it was like to stream once again. And now we are actually streaming live. Oh my god, I'm a genius. We had a bunch of good stuff too. We were doing content, we were, slapping high fives. We even had some burgers.
I actually haven't had lunch yet, so I kind of want that now.
Well, anyway, this is the Rent a Girlfriend podcast. We are talking about episodes 7 through 9. We're doing it in an unconventional way. Then next week, me, Rising, and C are going to be doing episodes where we watch individual ones, and it's going to be hilarious because we'll essentially be connecting the dots as we review it. It shall be fun, but for today, we are talking about it this way. Hello, Kenny. I'm sorry to make you wait for so long. I forgot to push the go live button. Oops.
Yeah, I had the page up and I was wondering, this is taking a while.
Yeah, that's on me. That's on me, everybody. So let us let us start from the beginning. Hey, Decrepit Storm. Hey, Moot and GP. Man, everybody is here. Just need to get old Satsuki if he's in.
Everyone is so excited for the show.
Yeah. So, episode 7, season 3. This episode is basically Ruka's birthday. And it's about as cringe as you would possibly imagine. She shows up, she does little poppers, happy birthday! And then just so happy and ooh, oh my god. They go to the pool. And of course, all the men, they're so respectful and they don't do any cat calls or anything like that. Right, Rising?
I mean, they keep their comments slightly to themselves, at least, somewhat, kind of, not really. Why are people dumb in this show?
It is so bad. Like, literally, just, guys are just going, oh my god, I wish she was my girlfriend. Oh, she's so hot. Do you think she's legal? It's just all this really dumb stuff, and I don't know. And Kenny, yeah, I'm sorry to have kept you waiting. Sorry. That was my fault.
Yeah, so the pool, it was dumb, and then, yeah, I feel like I don't have too much to say about that. Though it does make me think that the characters in the show need to be more considerate of people's mental stability before deciding that they want to date someone.
Why, yes. Yes, indeedy. Speaking of mental stability, Ruka has the brilliant idea of basically just kind of pushing things along in the quote-unquote relationship, if you'd want to call it that, between her and Kazuya.
It is in her mind, mostly.
It really is. So she just goes, Kazuya, I want you to take this sunscreen and rub my back. And they spent what felt like 10 minutes of our lives is Kazuya just thinking horny thoughts while putting sunscreen on her back. And then he's like, okay, I'm done, bye. She's like, wait, I want you to get my legs too. And then she lays on her stomach and he's wanting to get the back of her legs. And as they're doing all this, any normal person would, because to me, it's not a big deal. He's putting lotion on someone's back. It's whatever.
Right.
But Kazuya has an erection the whole time. And Ruka is just making these moaning sounds. Just, like, really?
Yeah, I forgot how trashy the show could actually be because I kind of liked the rest of the season.
Yeah,
but
it's so bad. Like I'm like, oh yeah, this is what Rent a Girlfriend is when you tear down all of everything that it is. This is Rent a Girlfriend in a nutshell. It's just
And
horniness and stupidity.
and it's like this scene doesn't even matter because it's not like they're going to make any progression with Kazuya and Ruka's relationship.
Yeah, it's really really bad. And go ahead, Kenny. Go ahead and clip that. I've been clipped with other things that are way worse. But yeah, Decrepit Storm. There's somewhat mental stability in this show.
I don't know if there is by any character.
Yeah, I probably not. But uh, so that whole thing happens. Kazuya says, "I need to go take a cold shower," and jumps in the pool because he's got an erection. Then I have it here in my notes. Oh my gosh, that's right. This is the first time in years that it shows Ruka's heart thing. Because I forgot that was even a thing, because she's looking at this app in her phone. She's like, "Oh, that made my heart race." And I think Kazuya kind of like looked at it and was like, "What's that?" But then never makes mention to it at all in the
I don't even
episode.
remember him saying that, but maybe I forgot it because I watched the episode last night.
Well, he was looking. Like,
Okay.
he jumped in the
Maybe.
pool, and then he turns around and looks and goes, "Oh." But then he never brings it up. Like, he doesn't, like a normal person would go, "Hey, Ruka, what was that on your phone? You know, what is with the heartbeats per minute?" "Oh, nothing."
Well, doesn't he know like that's, or does he know that about her? 'Cause
See,
I thought
and
I
that's the
assumed that he
thing.
did.
See, that's the thing. I honestly don't know. Like, the whole, just, I don't pay attention. So it's possible he does, possible he doesn't. I just found it interesting how she was looking at it, and then you see kind of like him just glancing over and just him kind of looking confused. But then again, that's maybe I'm thinking way too much of this show.
Probably.
Yeah, but they get out of the pool. Ruka is, they're about to eat something, and Ruka's expecting a present. And Kazi is just like, "Oh, I didn't give you one."
He took her to all these fun places and bought her ice cream. That's a good present.
Yeah, but I just love how pissed he was. He was like, "I'm your girlfriend. You didn't even buy me anything, you piece of shit."
Yeah. Like, if anyone gave me ice cream for my birthday, I would love them forever.
Yeah. Yeah, she even said later in the episode she does have that princess mentality. Like, she wishes people would spoil her and that her boyfriend
What?
would be Prince Charming and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, then why is she dating Kazuya? I feel like she can find someone better.
I mean, we've been saying this since the beginning of mankind. It's just,
Yeah.
oh,
Why do any of these characters like Kazuya? Like, I can sort of see something developing between Chizuru and Kazuya, but even then.
yeah. Yeah, it just, yeah, I honestly just, I don't get it. We are then, after that happens, we are cut to, I guess, where we see Chizuru meeting up with her grandma in the hospital, and then Sumi randomly shows up to get her flowers, her grandmother flowers, and we have a scene essentially with Sumi and Chizuru where they share a moment at the hospital. And that's essentially it.
I have no idea why Sumi was there.
I know, and I just love how she still can't talk, so she uses her phone to translate. It's like, girl, what are you even?
She even has like 2 or 3 lines, so like she can talk, so like why not do so?
I honestly don't know. The present
Yeah,
can be imaginary, just like the relationship.
Yeah, yeah, like I appreciate like Sumi is shy, especially like around people she doesn't know, but she knows Chizuru, and so like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. Wasn't Chizuru the one that got her the job anyway?
I think so.
I feel like that's how it was. But yeah, we just needed more Sumi because she's just a random entity that floats around in the cosmos, and that's the
Yeah, and
only
like
thing.
shows up from time to time, slightly moves the story forward, but isn't an interesting character of her own.
Yeah, yeah. She'll. I don't know. She just stands there to look cute and sparkles. That's
Yeah, but
it.
like, so Ruku's sparkling too. You have that clip on the screen now, so it's like other characters can sparkle.
Kazuya don't sparkle.
I mean, it's Kazuya. Do you expect him to sparkle?
No, if anything, he would probably fizzle.
All right,
Just
now I want to see him sparkle in the season finale just because.
yeah, that'd be hilarious. But yeah, Kenny and Mutant GP, it's basically misunderstandings and confusion, and there's no character growth. Absolutely, this Rent a Girlfriend's pretty nefarious for that, and this is no different with this episode. So after the whole random hospital scene, basically, okay, Ruka is talking with Kazuya. They're having a personal moment. Blah blah blah. I don't really remember much was said. The only thing that I remember is that Ruka has a request of Kazuya. Kazuya thinks, "Oh my God, she wants a kiss or wants to have sex," and the only thing that she wants is to call him Kazuya without the kun. Is essentially, without the pronunciation or whatever. So she just wants to basically call him by his name.
His first name, or yeah, I'm actually thinking because I've been watching the season dub, and they changed that scene to have her call him Babe instead, which just felt weird.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if there was a translation thing that did not translate well to English.
Yeah,
so it's changed.
there was a translation where essentially it was how she always calls him Kazuya-kun. She just
Right.
wants to drop that and just call him Kazuya. So she just kept going, Kazuya, Kazuya, hey, it's Kazuya.
Yes,
Yeah.
I feel like that's a thing in like Japanese that makes more sense than English.
Yeah. Next episode, Komi-san narrator tells us Sumi has a communication disorder.
That would actually make sense.
Oh my god. Komi-san and Sumi would just that would be an interesting combination with if those two ever had a conversation.
I feel like they would like really get excited to talk to each other. They would like none of it would be verbal. You just like see them passing notes or texting in the background.
They would just yeah, it's hilarious. But I think was that the whole episode or am I forgetting something?
Something else at the hospital. Cheezer was going on a rant about Kazuyo to her grandma.
Oh,
and
yeah.
her grandma made a comment saying like, "Oh, I know you're in love with him because of how much fun you have talking about him."
That's right. That's right. And then all of a sudden, she starts thinking to herself, do I like him? No, I don't like him. Do I? Maybe. Do I not like him or do I like, not like? It's just
Okay, my brain
stupid.
stopped working now.
Yeah. And then I think that's the final episode of number 7. We then roll in to episode 8. And boy, is it an interesting one.
Yeah, I liked a lot of episode 8 and 9. If the show was less dumb about things.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. First and foremost, the very first scene we see in episode 8 is Yamori. She's basically wants to celebrate Kazuya's cherry being popped.
Yes, my note here was I don't want to take notes on this. I also forgot her name and I had to look it up.
Yeah, she was basically, hooray, it couldn't have happened to a better man, and she calls him master, but then he clears it up by saying, oh, we didn't do it, and she's upset because she set all this up, and it's just, you know, just makes
She
her
for-
upset.
She forgot it was Kazuya she was trying to help.
Right. Any other person would have went for it, and it would have happened. They would have been lovers and all that. But you're right. Kazuya.
Or
No.
no, she remembered it as Kazuya. She forgot what show she was in.
This is also true too. The show where nothing progresses, except for the humor, if you can call it that.
Yeah, we actually got some plot progression with like the movie and the grandma thing. But
Yeah.
yeah, it doesn't know how to progress any of the romance.
Exactly. But so let's see. Chizuru comes out because they're out on the balcony, so there's all three of them. Then, of course, Ruka joins the party and calls Kazuya by his name in front of everyone. And that everybody's like so shook. They're just, OMG, she went ahead and called him Kazuya without the dash kun whatever. Oh my god. They're
Yeah, but, like,
serious.
Haven't they been, at least in theory, dating for like months at this point? So that seems normal.
I feel like they said in the past episode that they were, and I could be wrong about this, going out for a year or almost a year.
I don't think it was quite a year because this is the first time when they were dating that it was Ruka's birthday.
Okay.
So I think it's like slightly less than a year, which I don't understand Japanese culture, but I feel like at that point, calling someone by their name without an honorific seems normal.
Yeah. Everybody was just, oh my god, they're super serial right now, and you know, they walk to school. I guess I don't know.
I thought they went in his apartment. But
Oh, that's right. She's like, let's go into the apartment, and then that's when everybody went into their own apartments, and Yamori's just there eating chips and snacks.
yeah, and Chizuru is being like sad and contemplative.
Yeah. Hoy. So, once we get all that stupid stuff out of the way, Chizuru takes her grandma and Kazuya to the movie theater to show her basically where the screening is going to be, I believe.
Right. I think
Yeah.
it's like to scout it out, make sure things would be good for it, though that wasn't the focus at all.
Yeah, so essentially, yeah, it was just, here's where it's going to be. You're going to see the screening. Grandma's like, oh, I'm so happy. She then reminisces about her husband, Chizuru's grandpa, and yeah, basically just kind of has like a little flashback scene about him and all that. Everything seems to be going well. You know, she talks with Kazuya saying how great he is. She talks with Chizuru for a little bit, just about how everything's fantastic. And then, out of seemingly nowhere, the grandma collapses. She's in a wheelchair, by the way. She's getting pushed around.
Yeah. She like falls out of it and collapses somehow.
Yep, she collapses out on the floor, and it just really just turns from lightheartedness to just here we go, an emotional drama.
Yeah, like I remember being surprised like how Kazuya and Chizuru like getting coffee, having fun, in a sudden contrast to the grandma collapsing and them panicking.
Yeah, even then, it was just, you know, you could see that Chizuru's like emotionally distraught and just
Right.
like anyone would be if they see somebody in their family that they love collapse like that.
Yeah, especially being like so on edge for so long about her grandma's health. Like I can understand exactly how Chizuru would feel.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, they take her to the hospital. Everything is just like up in the air. Is like just these weird like uncertainty when it comes to the emotions.
Yeah.
Essentially, from what Chizuru says, because it cuts to the hospital. She comes out of the room, and the doctors basically tell her that it's not looking good. It's not looking good. She's probably not gonna make it.
Yeah, they saying like there's a good chance she won't make it through the night.
Yeah, and I was literally like, "Whoa, that's pretty heavy for this
Yeah,
show."
right. And then there's like they're like sad that she's not going to get to see the movie. Kazuya feeling guilty about like bringing her out because maybe that like pushed her too far when she wasn't in good enough health to be out there like that. You also have like Chizuru trying to explain like just like sort of being sad, but like being too rational in like how she's thinking about everything.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And Kazuya is an emotional wreck himself because he's trying to, you know, he, I feel like he says weird things. Like he always says weird things, but he's basically like, Chizuru, you have to tell your dying grandma the truth about us. Which I'm like, why the fuck would you even bring that up? It's not important right now.
Yeah, I think that was like my exact thing in my notes. Like that's not the thing that matters now. But I think it also shows Kazuya like he wants to help, but there's like absolutely nothing he can do. And so
Yeah,
that's like he's trying to find something that makes some sense, even though it doesn't.
right. And like, I just thought that that was a weird thing, and they kind of made it a focus in that particular moment, which I'm like, that should be the last thing on anyone's mind. It should be more of, I'm sorry about your grandma. You know, I can try my best to comfort you any way I can. But no, Kazuya is just like, we have to tell your dying grandma the truth. What?
Yeah.
At that
Yeah.
moment, really?
I feel like it was like they were looking for another like dramatic element to add, and that's just like what they went with because they didn't have anything else.
Yeah, and I feel like that wasn't needed. It's like the grandma dying, not gonna make it through the night is more than enough.
Exactly. Like it's they're adding something so minor to add more drama when it doesn't need it, and that just makes the whole scene not as good as it could be.
Right. So, so yeah, Kazuya basically tells Chizuru that he doesn't know what to do as far as how to comfort her because, you know, he's just overthinking things. He's like, I'm not her boyfriend. Would I hug her in this instance? Oh, come on, I can't even do that. Blah, 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 blah. So he goes ahead and says, there's one thing I can do. And he runs off. And
Well,
then, oh, well,
he
go ahead.
got he got a text saying the movie was completed. So that
Oh,
was
right,
like the
right,
one
right,
thing
right.
that he can do is so like he runs off and gets that.
Yeah. So yeah, he essentially just runs off, and that essentially transitions into episode 9, where, and I'm not even going to sugarcoat it, Kazuya does probably the nicest thing in this whole series. He, you know, Chizuru's in the room with her grandma. He goes in, doesn't say a word. He takes the laptop, starts setting it up and everything. And Chizuru's getting kind of pissed. He's just like, what are you doing in here? You just can't barge in here. Get out, blah, blah, blah. Sets up the projector, plays the movie, and walks out so that Chizuru can be with her grandma till the very end. And I saw that scene and I was like, wow, that's actually the nicest thing he's ever done.
Yeah, and I kind of wish like he explained what he was doing,
Yeah,
but I also I like that he didn't respond to Chizuru because that would create drama that did not was not needed.
right.
And it shows like how much about Chizuru he wants to make this like it's not about him. He wants to do something nice for her and her grandma.
Yeah, yeah. And essentially, like, when I saw that, I was literally like, wow, I was not expecting that from him. I mean, but this is Rent a Girlfriend, so they'll find a way to fuck it up later. But uh, I, the grandma, the nurses say that they can hear her, but she can't respond, so she's essentially in a coma. And
Yeah. So like they don't know if she can even see or appreciate the movie.
yeah, yeah, but the movie's playing. It's an emotional scene. Chizuru's basically telling her that she doesn't know anymore. And she's actually contemplating telling her the truth at that moment. And I'm like, why is she even humoring this? Like, why? It's not even important. Your grandmother is literally dying watching your movie, and she tells
Well,
her, Grandma, I think I've been lying to you.
yeah, well, you missed the part where like the grandma like opened her eyes for like 10 minutes to see the movie.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. I'm sorry. I forgot about that one. But
Yeah,
you're right. She did. She actually got to see it for at least 10 minutes. So she got to see essentially her granddaughter's dream come true. And they did make reference to that a bunch, where you saw a bunch of flashbacks of when she was a little kid and she wanted to be an actress, and, just all that. Yeah, that was some tender stuff. And, yeah, she essentially had, like, the grandma does wake up, but then, like, her eyes are closed, but all she's doing is just talking to her as she's literally, dying, like trying to talk to her and tell her essentially that, you know that she's proud of her.
yes,
You're the person that I've always, you've turned into such a beautiful woman. You're
yeah,
fantastic.
yeah, just like a good send off for her, like her last words to Chizuru, basically saying how much she loves her.
Yeah. And this show did what I never thought in a million years would do. It actually made me cry.
Yeah, like saying to me, it's been emotional before, but I was not expecting the scene to hit so hard.
It's the way they did it. Like, I've seen movie shows, whatever you want to call it, where someone dies and you're just like, nah, whatever, they die. But just how everything was done through the music, the words being exchanged,
Yeah,
the
like
embrace. Oh,
all of the flashbacks too, like basically taking all the good parts of the story, bringing them together here.
yeah, yeah. And I remember thinking to myself, this is probably the best it's ever going to be with Rent a Girlfriend, because I was just like, wow, that was great. Like
Yeah,
this is the best that Rent a Girlfriend has ever done. It had to be 3 seasons in episode 9 for it to finally show what it's possible of, how it's possibly doing as far as just
yeah.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
I go back to this. Like there's a lot of good the show does. It's just like covered up by so much garbage.
It really is. And this is, whenever you make your edit, this will be one of those moments that you just keep
Exactly.
in it.
Like I don't need to change anything. Like this is a fantastic scene.
Kenny, I'm not heartless. I told you I was emotional. I cried when I saw the grandma die. What I'm just essentially saying is that this show is like, it's a lot of garbage. But this particular episode, in this particular scene, this particular moment was amazing. I'm okay, maybe not amazing, but it was just really good how it was done. I'm not
Yeah,
even gonna lie.
definitely one of the more powerful like character death moments I've ever seen.
It's just crazy when you think about it, because like, I never would have expected this show to do something like that. That's the part that made me go, wow, this show
Yeah.
actually has it to the balls to like do something like that. But
Yeah, and one of the things I liked is like how sudden her like collapsing and her death was, because like we've known she's been in bad health for a long time. So the fact that she would die eventually isn't a surprise, but like how sudden it was here, just like that, no one expected that. And I feel like that's very realistic too. Like I had a grandma who was like in pretty good health for like how old she was, but then like one day she like went to the hospital, like wasn't doing that well, and the family thought that she would be okay, but she wasn't.
yeah,
So like it's a very realistic thing to happen.
yeah, yeah, it really is. I also had a grandma. She went in for just basic surgery. You know, the she came out of surgery. The nurses came in to check on her, and she was talking, and everything was fine. She was up. Nurses checked in on her an hour later, and she was gone. It
Oh
was,
wow.
I know, it was just such a routine. It was like on her leg, like she never had good knees or whatever. But yeah, it was just so unexpected. It like because she was healthy too, so like she healthy as a horse. Like you thought she would live to be 100, but
Right.
yeah,
That's how I was with my grandma. She was like 95, 96.
yeah, it's just so crazy to think that. 1 minute they're there and then the next they're gone. It's essentially that's what happened with this. Because I mean, you always knew she wasn't in good health. This character, Chizuru's grandma, I forget her name, but
Sayori, I think.
yeah, something like that. But yeah, it's crazy to think that. It is like you said, the unexpectedness was definitely a driving part, and then the actual like execution of the whole scene and emotional goodness was, yeah. I guess for once I can give the show its praise for doing something right, and this was definitely it.
Yeah,
But that's short lived.
yeah, and then more dumb stuff happens. Though I kind of like the next scene is like starts with the Aimori crying, which I feel like was a good way to like let off the emotional weight by like having it be emotional but also comedic to like a good transition between the mood of the show.
Yeah,
So
it was. I thought the
I feel
same
like
thing.
I feel like they should have paced it better to be like the episode would have ended with her death, and that way they could just like have that as their conclusion, and then the next episode they could have started with the Aimori. But I guess that they just like couldn't pace it right.
Yeah, yeah, and Kenny, I don't worry. I reached out to Sasuke, but I guess he's busy right now. He said he'll listen to it whenever we're not live. So, but he'll be back next week. So you'll definitely come back next week to hear the wonderfulness of Sasuke the Savage. But I know
Yep.
the one time he's not here.
We're like saying good things about the show for at least like an episode or episode and a half.
Yeah, exactly. But so yeah, the Murray thing happens. Then it turns into where essentially the funeral is being set up for Chizu's grandma. It's pretty much the standard stuff, Chizuru comes out of the room because Kazuya was there the whole time. He didn't want to leave, and you can tell Chizuru's trying her hardest to just have such a strong face and I guess like being, but at the end of the day, you know she's hurting inside, but she just can't like show it or like just let out that emotions.
Yeah, well, you see like how reserved she is with basically everyone. You saw like how emotionally wrecked she was there with her grandma, and then like coming out, she's trying to act normal as much as she can.
Yeah, yeah, because we got Kazuya's grandma who was friends. She went there, paid her respects, and then left. Didn't want to stay around for a while. I think she said, "I'm gonna meet her sooner or later." But I feel like that's always been the grandma. That's
Yeah,
her
I feel like
personality.
that's the grandma being her. So yeah, it it kind of feels bad because I wish they had like more Kazuya and Chizuru there, even if like he is awkward, but like trying to help. Because I feel
Yeah,
like that's a time they could have like moved things along,
yeah,
but it's also in character for both of them for it not to be, which is why the characters are annoying.
yeah. And I was saying too, like this is probably the moment where, when you want to have Kazuya not be such a loser main character, like this would be the stepping stone for him to come up because he already did something amazing at the beginning of this episode, which was showing her dying grandma the movie. And
Yeah, and like
that was great.
that was awesome. And then it could have been like at the wake or with her preparing for it, just like him showing up, like asking, "Is there anything I can do?" And then like them trying to work together, maybe opening up a little bit more to each other.
Yeah, exactly. And that could have led to just great character development. But this is Rent a Girlfriend, so of course we didn't get that. So the wake happens. Chizuru essentially goes to his apartment and is just crushed because he doesn't know what to do. He wishes he had the answer to find out how he could make Chizuru feel better. Essentially, what we all do when you know there's people that are in mourning and we don't know what to say. There's really not a big answer to that. As somebody who's lived it himself, it's just there's nothing really you can do. So, what does Kazuya do instead of going next door, knocking on her door, and trying to have a heart to heart with Chizuru? What does he do instead?
The only thing Kazuya knows how to do, which is rent her.
He books a session, and I don't even know if it's gonna be with her.
I'm assuming it's with her, otherwise it wouldn't make any sense, but it is the show, so who knows?
Yeah, he just, well, because he was saying, I forget how he said it, but I think he was like, I need a woman's perspective or whatever. And
Oh,
I'm almost thinking that he books a session with Sumi. How much you
that,
want to bet that that's what he does?
I would cry. Yeah,
Because because
that,
he doesn't really book sessions with her anymore. He's talking to her without even like paying her money.
yeah, so at least in the dub, it felt like he wanted to understand how she felt, so it would make sense to rent her to, like, give them time to talk, which, okay, it only makes sense in the logic of the show, but still.
Yeah, I honestly, well, I guess we won't know until the next episode. But I
But
personally, when I saw that, I was like, "You got to be fucking kidding me!"
no, I think I know an even worse way it could go.
Let's
He ends
hear
up
it.
renting Gaimori because she signed up to be a rental girlfriend because after seeing Kazuya and Chizuru, she thought that was a good idea. So Kazuya just like signed up for some random person, and it has to be Gaimori, and that's how they start falling in love.
This show would do that
Yeah, it's like
100%. Oh my god! But that's how this amazing episode ends. He doesn't do the thing where he's like, I'm just gonna talk to her and just absolutely try to comfort her, blah 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 blah, because that would only make sense and that would have made him and his character look great. Nope.
or they could have had it go the other way around. Like Chizuru like goes to his apartment, just like she feels bad that she's been so reserved. She feels like she has to open up, so she like goes to him because she like feels she can be honest with him, and they could progress the relationship that way too. Like there are
Right.
so many good ways they could have moved forward from this.
Right. Right. And I have here because I was watching this on Crunchyroll, and the one giant comment was this: "My guy booked a session instead of just knocking on her door, bruh."
I agree.
My
Okay,
God.
yeah, when I edit the show, I'm taking that part out.
Yeah, yeah, that was, like I said, this was a better than average episode that had a really heartwarming moment. Like, if you wanted a launching point of the series to get to the part where somebody gets in a relationship with somebody, this was it. This was the show or episode. But
Yeah,
instead
like
of doing that, you do the same thing you always fucking do, and I'm talking about the mangaka of this damn series. You take it and you give us more like content, but you give us zero character development.
yeah, it's like shows need to have a path to their ending to make it satisfying. Otherwise, it's like they're spinning their wheels doing nothing for 3 seasons.
Like, could you imagine just Kazuya goes through all this stuff with Chizuru, even is there when and helps her comfort her when her grandma dies, but then goes, Nah, I'm sticking with Ruka. I want Sumi. Mommy? Nah.
Yeah, not mommy. I would kind of respect the show if they just like did a like 180 and like he ends up with Ruka and then they end it, but they would have to actually end it soon, and that would be like a like shock. But at least he would be doing something.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I know your grandma just died, so what you really need is some more money from me. Right, Decrepit Storm, that's what this show is making it out to. It's so. This fucking show. Oh. But yeah, Mutant GP, every character lose brain cells as more seasons come out, I swear. I absolutely. And Kenny had a long one. Asked my Japanese friends why are so many anime characters underage. She said it's because high school is treated as some of the best days of your life, and graduation is actually a sad day for most. I mean, I guess it really depends. Well, in Japan, I guess it's great, but here in America, you graduate high school, it's like, oh God, it's a sad day because you have to start paying bills.
And in a way, that's like what makes high school good, or at least good for storytelling, is that the characters don't have any responsibilities. And even in college here is like kind of similar. They're like making progress to building their life, but it also makes sense that they can have time for all this weird nonsense.
Yeah, at least you don't have. It's dumb because, like, these characters are supposed to be adults, but they act so like high school students. I know Ruka is in high school, so that makes sense for her character. But everyone else is like, come on now, where's the adult?
Right, like young adults, sure, a bit immature makes sense, but yeah. Oh, yes,
Yeah.
I have to pay bills today. Thank you for reminding me, Kenny.
Yeah. But yeah, that was essentially the series or these episodes. Was there anything you could think of that we didn't
Uh,
discuss?
so yes, there's a line from Yaimori, at least in the dub, that I liked. It was she said, "Women have the strength to face hard times alone, but that doesn't mean they want to." And I feel like that applies to like more than just women, but like anyone. I
Right.
feel like people have a lot of potential. Like if hard times come, they can deal with it. But it's so much easier and so much better if you have people to help you through that. Even if there's nothing that they can like directly to, just being there, the emotional support, the feeling that you have people beside you means a lot.
Exactly. And even if you don't know what to say, you don't know what to do when somebody's in mourning. What what I've learned is that the only thing really you can do is just be there for them. You can, tell them how sorry you are and that, you know, you know, saying, "Oh yeah, things will get better." Like just let them kind of go through their own mourning process, and you
Yeah.
just be there.
Like let them feel that they're not doing this alone, even if it's something that like you can't make their grandma come back to life or whatever.
Exactly.
But you can like show them that you love them, like romantically, platonically, whatever. That love is important.
Yep. And I feel like that's what this last episode could have done. And I felt like it was almost going to do it, but then I remembered what kind of show this was. So, yeah.
Yes,
How
so
many
much potential
episodes?
here.
How many episodes is this season? It's 12 every season. So, next week, we're literally going to be wrapping everything up, Kenny. It's going to be episodes 10, 11, and 12. Sea Tactics will be here next week, and we're going to do something fun where Rising Sun Reviews, Sea Tactics, and EA, are each going to watch an individual episode without knowing what the episode is going to be next. So
How,
essentially, and I'll figure out the order, and Decrepit Storm, I think already did it. Rising's going to watch episode 10. I'm going to watch 11, and C's going to watch the last one, 12. And we're all basically going to get, we're going to get reactions right then and there of what happened, and it's going to be super fun.
I thought I was episode 12. We'll need to clarify that.
Yeah, I have it written down somewhere. I just
Okay.
And why, Kenny? Just because this is Rent a Girlfriend. Any other series I wouldn't do that with. I'd want to see how it is all the way through, but
Well, I also think I want to avoid the next episode because it sounds dumb, but I like the last episode of last season, so maybe it will be good.
yeah. I want to say, yeah, the order really doesn't matter. I guess we can all just do paper, rock, scissors for it. So I think it'll be funny just to do it that way. We'll have one presenter for 10, one presenter for 11, and then the final episode, another presenter, and then I guess just overall thoughts of the season itself. And yeah, that'll be that. That'll be that.
Yep, it will be a time, hopefully fun, to at least talk about it.
I think it's funnier if Steve watches episode 10 because he hasn't seen anything else. That would be funny. He's like, wait, what? The grandma died? What the hell happened?
Yeah, like, I mean, I feel like it wouldn't surprise him because, like, I called her dying this season anyway. So,
Yeah. Give Steve the worst, please. Okay, well, we'll see what happens. But anyway, I think that is it for this episode of Rent a Girlfriend podcast. We discussed episodes 7 through 9. Rising Sun, what have you been doing these days?
traveling to Wisconsin to eat cheese.
Okay. If you,
I might stream on Twitch tonight, so check that out if you want.
yeah, check out his links. They're down in the description down below, and we will see you guys next week with Sea Tactics and possibly Satsuki the Savage in the chat this time around. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, that will be fun. Thank you, everyone, for stopping by. It's been fun.
Yep, we'll do this again next week. Later.